Hello and welcome back to the Dark Evil Alliance. I am Sleepy189, and today we'll be reading the story House of 666. As we can obviously tell, this one's about satanic horror. Now, sit back, relax, enjoy the evening of this satanic horror story. During my career, I've seen many strange things, yet the case that weighs most of my mind is the one I've never been able to solve. It was a turbulent time in my life. Various things happened, and before I knew it, I had quit my job at the detective agency. Not only had I given up my friends and clients, I had given up on myself. So here I was, a detective who had lost his path in life. That is until I found a particular mystery that piqued my natural curiosity. After 2 years of mindless wandering, I had finally found something to occupy my mind, my emotions. For the first time in a long while, I felt my nearly dead passion spark. It was the fall of 1975. When I went to begin my investigation of the infamous town of the Enigma. All seemed normal when I first came to the town. But as I found out during my years as a detective, first impressions can be deceiving. Bloody hell, where's the blast? What's with the bloody hell, what's with this blasted weather? My prophetic cries at Mother Nature weren't completely unjust. It was sunny all the way up the point I reached the town, where out of nowhere the storm began. I can say only one thing. This was not helping the town's already horrible reputation. I swear, the whole world is against me. And finally see the house. My cleaning for the soup is gonna cost a fortune. It is a strange place, without a doubt. Trees with twisted branches seem to erupt from the ground and pierce the darkened skies. Ruined buildings littered the land as far as the eye can see. However, what caught my eye was the only single erect building amidst the ruins. This is serious. Can't be all that's left in town, can it? The outskirts perhaps would be more believable. As I made my way to the house, a picture frame fell out of my suitcase onto the wet gravel. Luckily, it didn't break. However, I was forced to look at the face inside the frame, the list picking it up. After a few seconds, I managed to divert my eyes and quickly jammed it back into my suitcase. If I had stared at the picture any longer, I might have lost it. Come on, man. Get a hold of yourself. Thumping myself a few times across the face, I resumed my trek towards the house. Cold, emotionally strained, and physically battered, I prayed to whoever popped into my head at the immediate time that there was something missing a bed in the strange house. Well, the door was still standing. What a surprise! I was indeed actually surprised. With no proper maintenance for more than 100 years, I had expected the wood to have rotted away from exposure to the elements. Instead, the only damage it had suffered was some chipped away paint and a few rusted hinges. My, that is peculiar. It's almost as if someone has been looking after this house all this time. But I thought this town was deserted. Anyone there? I knocked on the door a few more times before realizing how stupid I was. Alright. That was very stupid of me. Taking the heavy door handle with both hands, I pushed against the door. Despite the rusted hinges, it opened without too much effort. What greeted me It was a strength so horrible. I thought my nose had died. There was no way of describing it exactly. A cross between rotten eggs, rat feces, and garbage out in hot weather was the best I could sum it up as. How is one supposed to sleep in such a god-awful place as expected? I have no luck with anything these days. What the hell was that? Somehow the heavy door slammed itself shut. No, you're a detective for crying out. Think logically, there's a big storm going around. I'm sure it was the wind. Spotting the sofa that had still not been completely chewed up by the rats, decided to turn it for the night. First, however, I grabbed a clothespin from a suitcase and pinned it firmly over my nose. I had tricked myself because there was no draft inside the house. Yawn. When I woke up in the morning, I felt like I had gone through hell. Besides the storm, strange noises within the house that kept me awake all night. Besides the usual my squeaky water dripping and so on, there had been unusual banging and frenetic scratching on the walls. Not to mention the weird sound of chains rattling. There must be rats in the pipes or something like that in a pretty old house after all. What's this? At the very edge of the room, I caught a glimpse of what seemed to be a book. Das Kapital. A journal? What's this doing here? A strange looking journal. The black leather looked like it had been top quality at one point, and there was a strange red bond bound across the top. The Soviet sickle hammer has engraved into the front as well as some of the text that looked Russian. Blowing the dust off the journal, I began to read the first page. It was a bit difficult to read, as the paper was aged and parts of it were eaten away. Nevertheless, I caught the gist of it. 1962, this was just a few years back. On the orders of my boss, I was sent to the house in the hopes of finding a story that will make front page headlines. If it weren't for the severity of the current economy, I would touch this place with a 10-foot pole. However, here I am. The trip to Izmir is peaceful enough. Clear skies, warm sun, and a gentle breeze that blows by everyone once in a while. Heck, I even considered building a house here. However, as soon as I came near the town, all hell seemed to have lasted weeks. Every rain, hail, and this strange mist engulfing the entire place. It was a large town, surprisingly enough. Only problem is, nobody seems to be here. I haven't seen a place this floating since Ukraine, when I went to investigate ground zero of the Chernobyl disaster. However, the house does not seem to be here in the town. Since I rest for a bit, I will head towards the outskirts of town. 1962 was just a few years back. The bigger question was, why would a Russian be here? Sure, the town was occupied by the families, however, there wouldn't be reason enough to come down all the way to such a run-down place. And by the looks of it, he was ordered to investigate not just the town, but this very house. Could there be more to this town than I thought? Leaving the question at the back of my mind, I took a glance around the room for the first time since I got here. I could be wrong, but judging from the layout of this house and the close proximity it has to the entrance, I had to guess that this is the living room. Okay, I admit, that wasn't the most groundbreaking production in existence. If this were a game, I would expect the audience to be shouting, "No yeet, Sherlock," right about now. For the record, it will be no yeet Edward, not Sherlock. He sounds like a cool guy and all, but I bet he couldn't pull this monocle and fedora as well as I can. This is one strange room though. exactly the best place to have guests. There wasn't much in the room. As a matter of fact, it didn't even look like the previous occupants gave a damn. An oak bookshelf lay across the floor, its shelves either broken or eaten away to almost nothing. 2 sofas and a rocking chair had been placed in the middle of the room. One of the sofas has nothing but a collection of holes and shredded leather, with something bleeding out of every orifice. The one I had been sleeping on the previous night was in better condition on account of the vinyl covering wrapped tightly around it. The rocking chair had most of its paint chipped away, and the black board splintered in some places. Besides that, it looked sturdy enough to sit on. Not about to test it, Fury, knowing my luck. On the ground lay an old television, the ones that used antennas to get a signal. Flashes of static passed across the screen at random intervals. It was creepy. I seriously hope something doesn't pop on that screen. The floor was a carpet of leaves that hid a dirty stone flooring underneath, almost up to my knees at some point. How did these get in here anyway? The door was closed and there aren't any windows in here. And that itself was the strangest aspect about the room. There were no windows, or at least there wasn't anymore. Not only were the windows boarded up, but someone took the time to cover them up with bricks afterwards. People don't usually cover up windows as a hobby, hopefully. The job was done very well. If it were not for that tiny sliver of window frame sticking out of the wall, I would have never noticed. The only reason someone would go to the length to conceal them from the outside is they were trying to hide something, or someone for that matter. But I could continue my search, however. A thunderous grumbling came from the pits of my stomach. Oh, damn it, why now? However, even professionals need to keep their stamina up. Rumbling a bit, I made way to the kitchen to make some breakfast. Hopefully, I don't burn this place down again. If I had any appetite, I lost it when I saw the appalling state of the kitchen. The walls and flooring were cracked with grime and rust, as well as a weird-looking fungus cupboard doors slung on their broken hinges and bits of jagged glass littered the floor. The remnants of an old fire scarred the room tried-out suit. Oddly enough, there was a window in this room, was coated with rust, and the mangled bodies of many squashed insects. This is absolutely disgusting. Forcing myself not to throw up, I grabbed somewhat clean dish rag from the countertop and vigorously scrubbed at the window. After several minutes, my work finally paid off and I could see out the window. What on earth is that? Words left me as I saw a ghastly image of the backyard. Crows blackened the skies like a creeping black cloud. Their glowing red eyes scouted the distance with cunning intelligence that no crow should ever have. Why would the crows be gathering here? I ran outside into the heavy rain in order to find clues. However, the mist made it nearly impossible to make out anything in the distance. The weather has been calmer last night, but the storm had started again this morning. Hopefully, I will find something before I caught Phenomia. Wait, what's that? I could just make out a figure in the distance, hiding behind some bushes gave me a good vantage point. David? What's he doing here? David was one of the high-ranking administrators of the detective agency I used to work at. A quiet and simply hard-working fellow, I always had the irrational sense of discomfort around him. At the moment, David had got into his car and drove away. A small trail of smoke came from where he had stood, before quickly disappearing into the rain. As I approached, I could make out it seemed to be a thick folder, albeit a bit soggy. When I picked up the folder, I realized he had tried to burn the paper in it with a lighter. Well, either he is a complete idiot, or he really wanted to get rid of this. As I opened Up the holder, my eyes widened. My hands began to shake. What the devil is this? I threw soggy and a bit charred. It was a mistake. These were shower Robert Sisk's personal files. Why would they be trying to get rid of this? It makes no sense. As I continued to stare in anger and awe, I sensed a change in the air. It was still raining heavily, but now I felt like someone was watching me. For whatever reason, my instincts told me to run. Soon as I did, Black chose to send a gathering from every tree. Without a doubt, I was being changed. Without a doubt, the thing chasing me wanted me dead. The sound of pouring cut in my head. Quick glimpse back showed hundreds of hungry red eyes right behind me. Oh gee, was all I could say before they decided to slice my skin open mercilessly with their cruel beaks completely covered in blood and thirsty clips. I ran, I couldn't see, I couldn't hear. All I knew had to get out of here. Just when it seemed that the crows about to let go, my feet struck a rogue tree root. I waited to fall on my face. I just kept falling. Before I could make sense of what's happening, I struck the ground and blackened out. This guy is probably the worst detective I ever seen. He's completely useless. So, looks like I solved the mystery before you could. That's not to be expected, however. What do you mean? I found most of the clues as well as having tracked down useful influence. Are you talking back to me, dog? Yes, I am. Do you think I'm one of those male catchers who sits at the back and gets slapped around? No, I guess you're not. It was a cool evening in the streets of London. The sun had just set, and the only light was the soft glow of lampposts. Light fog slowly crept across the ground, making a perfect setting for a cheap 19th century detective film. Ironically enough, there were only two people walking down this setting who were detectives. So what makes the fifth large case you solved since you came over from Russia? Yes, it is. Can't see why it's such a big deal though. Are you kidding me? There were thousands of detectives in the world who go through their entire lives without solving a single case. And here you are, solving 5 huge cases just in a year. Like I said, no big deal. Letting out a sigh that trailed off into the sky like a little ghost, I stared at the stunning black crest swooped onto my suit. I stared over at Shara, who had the same crest suit on her jacket sleeve. What are you looking at, pervert? If I answer honestly, will you hurt me? Answer now, or you will find yourself passed out in the dark alley inside a dumpster. Your chest. I stared at her chest, her face, and her chest again. Sensing danger, I dodged a roundhouse kick that would have split my brains into a solid walk. It was a very skillful kick, sure to impress any master of the fighting arts. Not to gloat, but my dodge was just as impressive. It was a cross between an aerial barrel roll and a tripping over my own 2 feet. You better be happy that you're so stupidly lucky. Not luck, it's pure skill. Saying that, I got into a stupid heroic pose. Sadly enough, I thought it was pretty good pose. Will you stop fooling around? Or do I need to kick you again? I promise I won't miss next time. Her creepy smile told me that she was not messing around. Alright. No need to get your knickers in a bunch. I don't wear knickers. What? Don't tell me you're going commando. Her face flushed for a second, before it smoothed into a mask of cold anger. Alright. I was looking at the emblem. Her face softened a bit, but still had an angry scowl plastered all over it. What about it? I was thinking how surprised was the day when you offered to sew this on my suit. You don't give these just to anyone, right? Of course not. So why I kept saying to myself, why me, why me? We argue a lot and seem to clash about something every few seconds. I don't think too much of it. You're just a dog in a parlour whom I trust. That's so. Well, I trust you as well, partner. I ran up a bit ahead to hide my embarrassment face from her. Idiot. Did you say something? Nothing. Say, have you ever tried chocolate drizzled crumpets? Who the frick has chocolate drizzled crumpets? This is heathen filth. Why you waste pure chocolate on crumpets? Why would you use crumpets in that manner? This is heathen. Well, you absolutely love her. I grabbed her hand and dragged her into a nearby cafe. Hey, slow down, you idiot. Despite her complaining and constantly denying that she enjoyed the crumpets, she ate it enough to eat through my entire week's salary. Ouch, my head. I finally regained consciousness after what seemed like forever. My vision was still blurred. There seemed to be a bump on my head. To be honest, if the pain in my head hadn't woken me up, I would have liked to stay in the dream forever. But the past was a poison. Forbidden poison that threatened to engulf my existence if I got too addicted to its sweet feel. What the hell happened? It took a while to remember, but it all came back to me. The kitchen, the crows, attacking, all of it. What the? After my eyes readjusted to the low light, I realized the reason why there were so many crows in this sinister reputation of not just this house, but this town. Tens of thousands of caskets lay inside the enormous chamber. Even the rattling of my teeth was amplified, causing a creeping hissing sound to reverberate across the mausoleum. Skulls and bones lay in massive piles, while dried blood and gore lay splattered across the dirty stone walls. A table filled with rusty needles, a sewing machine, and cutting weapons of various size and variety completed the macabre visage. There was nothing I could do or say in all my years as a detective. I have never encountered such perverted brutality. Holding back my wave of nausea, I ran towards the nearest staircase. All the way up the spiraling staircase, walls lay covered in mementos of saints and worshippers and the Nazi regime. Just as I thought to reach the top, I noticed a puppet hammered into the wall. On a closer inspection, it was a human puppet sewn together from the parts of different humans. Oh Lord. Completely losing it, I rammed open the trapdoor and ran into the freezing rain. In the bushes, I threw up until it seemed like my innards would all spill across the wet grass. That's it. I think it's time to figure out what really went on this town all those years back. There is really no difference between night and day in this town, is there? It was true. Even though the storm had subsided last night, the sun was nowhere to be seen. The sky was internally shadowed by clouds of grey and black, as if even the weather was bent to the twisted town's will. What's a better way to start the day than a warfare? I'm really living a good life these days. I had to wonder when I had to become so cynical. Just a while back, I had a perfect life, with friends, high-paying stable job, and a worldwide reputation. Now I was a nobody, with a constant expression plastered on my face that couldn't be more suitable in a mold. Now that I think about it, my personality changed shortly after that incident. There's the town. I would ponder about that later. Right now, there were more pressing matters to attend to. The town was just as creepy, if not creepier than the outskirts. The buildings of Athol were not falling apart. They were still in bad condition. Cracked walls, broken windows, chipped paint, and all the usual signs of long-time neglect. A light fog slowly drifted across the ground, making it difficult to see my feet. The cool morning air seeped into my body, and chilled my bones. How the hell am I gonna find the light? I can't see a damn direction sign anywhere. Just then, a piercing gong cut from silence. Startled, my fighting instincts kicked in. Unfortunately, this led to my fist connecting with the brick building behind me. Bugger! Cradling my swollen hand, I grabbed a roll of gauze from my pocket and tightly wrapped it around my throbbing fist. The searing pain caused me to draw blood from my lip. At this rate, I'm gonna end up in a hospital bed before I even find out anything. With no directions, I finally followed the noise of the clock. After what seemed like forever, the large building came into view. It was the library. Compared to the other buildings, it looked very well taken care of. It looks like there is someone in this town after all. With a strange sense of dread lingering in my mind, I entered through the oak doors and into the library.